Another day, another dice roll. One and three. 1, 3, Victorian Charm. Let's go get that. That is in the... What would it be in? Ah, it would be in the closet. This might take a minute. Oop, right there. Whoopsies. My floss has gotten a little bit extensive and needs a little bit of restructuring because it's not fitting there anymore. Anywho, Victorian Charm. Excited to work on this. I think I put in... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one that I did from my WIP Go. It doesn't seem like something I would have done for WIP Go. That seems very, very... very little amount done to have used it for WIP Go. I don't think I've done... Was Victorian Charm not on WIP Go? Hold on. We are going to take a moment, find what I need, which is the goals page. Christmas sentiment, Victorian Charm. It hasn't come up yet. Oh my gosh. It's on there. Okay. Was feeling a little odd. Yeah, see? Look. Dancing in the Rain, Miss Christmas Eve. That's this month. Done a little bit in Dancing on the Rain. Yeah. That's going to be a little bit of probably a quick update on next month's, or the next podcast vlog after Vlogtober's over. It'll probably be a quick update versus anything else, just because I don't have the space to keep all this information on my phone. But yeah, trying throughout the vlog maybe show you a little bit here and there what I've accomplished. I know I showed you hold on, I know I've got it over here. Grab it. I know I showed you it in the vlog, but not in any of these. Finished the dress, got her tights done. It's not a lot of work, but I'll get it done. And then Miss Christmas Eve is down at my feet, and I've done nothing. So, anywho, yeah. On this one, on WIP Go, has not come up yet. I've done it a couple times on 25/7 challenge, so this be where I'm at. Not changing this out because I love the little Victorian skeleton cameo. Like, that's a cool one. So yeah, not changing that one out. But yeah, well, this one is on a pattern, so we'll get a stitch with me today. So look forward to that, and I'll get going on that. Don't know when I get around to it today, but we'll see you in a sec. And here we are. As usual, it's been a couple minutes since I recorded the dice roll, but we do have a stitch with me today. Yay! Excitement there for that one. Let's get this to where I can work with it, because yeah, I do a lot of in-hand stitching. brown, finishing up some of the brown at least. Probably moving on to a new color after that, which appears to be possibly a blend. Got my whatchamacallit right there. It's only half a pattern, so if you're that desperate, then good luck to you, I suppose. Scissors. I'm remembering them. So, yeah, let's see if we can actually accomplish this. Again, forgot the ring light. I know better than this. I really do. I'm like, why is it so dark? It is darker at the moment. Supposed to rain, so yeah. That just makes it darker in here. Anywho, so definitely not much of anything going on. There really never is in my life, I'm not gonna lie. Double checking that I'm in frame, double checking the time. Okay. It doesn't matter if I go over a few minutes, it really doesn't. The idea is to put in at least 25 minutes more than it is to put in exactly 25 minutes. But, yeah. Have real fun with the dice roll. I have real fun with just the design of the challenge. After this month, I need to go back to the board I started, and that one I'm crossing off the ones that I've done, and we'll just re-roll the dice when I get the exact same one, and that's just for getting myself to put in more time and work on all of my projects. And of course, in June I started, how many did I start? I had 15 or 16 planned, and I was not able to get all of them started. This WIP challenge that I have for this month does have Raven Queen on it. So if that one gets pulled, that will be a start. And even though it is like a paper pattern, I don't think I'll be able to do a stitch with me, not for getting it started. And that's just if I roll the dice for it. That's another thing. You never know what you're going to roll the dice for, which I think is what makes it fun. There's no set schedule. And this month's definitely nothing super particular. This is dark navy blue fabric, which is not quite as hard to see as black, but not quite as easy to see as white. Yeah, literally took me a minute to remember that word. I'm old, leave me alone. For those of you who watch knitting podcasts, a few days ago, Ross from It Smells Like Yarn just reappeared on the scene. He took some time off, was dealing with some majorly annoying trolls from what I remember if I remember correctly. And yeah, so it's nice to see him back. He's great because he loves yarn in all forms. If it's acrylic, he does not care. He is not super snobby about the yarn that he uses, which is great and completely wonderful for those of us who just like have no money. I have a lot of hand-dyed yarn, and that's mostly what I'm using here recently because Yeah, I spent money I didn't have on yarn, and I'm not buying more yarn unless it's to resell, which I do have some cotton thread up on my eBay store right now. That's up for auction, so maybe get a couple bucks for that. It came in a lot of stuff that I bought. I am going to switch over to eBay being only patterns. It's just the direction I want to go with my eBay store. Etsy is not doing as well as it used to, but it's still going. It's that time of year, you know, people are starting to buy gifts, and while there may be a few people wanting to buy grime guards as gifts, it's not a highly giftable item, so it's one of those random things that people would come across and be like, oh, I'm out shopping, I want to buy this for myself. Definitely always looking for things to do to, like, add to the shop, to the Etsy shop. I'm really wanting it to move more in the direction of just a cross-stitch shop with lots of cross-stitch things. Maybe eventually, you know, get the wholesale license and start selling all the patterns and the hand-dyed fabric and stuff like that, and probably a little bit of knitting stuff too. There's, you know, my knitting patterns in there already, so you know, makes sense. But that's where I'm wanting to go with that sort of stuff. So that's, of course, focus. Today will be more of, I'm redoing my system for well, for the patterns that I have up on eBay. And I know some people are like, well, if you have patterns up on eBay, why don't you have them on Etsy? They're definitely very different. The patterns I have up on eBay, most of them are, you know, your simple patterns, your old, you know, leisure arts and stuff like that. It's not stuff that really sells for much. People are probably not going to be looking on Etsy for any of these patterns. I don't know, maybe someday if my shop builds to that sort of size, but at this point the idea behind the Etsy shop with cross stitch is somewhat smaller shop with a lot more handmade items versus just cross stitch items. There's definitely going to be a layer of accessories available for you, you know, in the shop, but there's going to be a lot of emphasis on just, you know, the handmade aspect, because it is Etsy. And while you can sell supplies and stuff, of course, I want a slightly different shop than just a little bit more than just your typical shop that, you know, sells the handmade items, and a little bit less than the like everything shop that sells all of the cross stitch items. Definitely focus on, you know, handmade items. I'd love to at some point someday, kind of create a line of hand-dyed fabrics and hand-dyed threads. Probably just cotton threads, maybe silk, who knows. Maybe both. Probably both, possibly both. But, you know, my focus right now is kind of sewn stuff and fabric related stuff. I am working on a design for project bags that is just, it's slowly coming along. I really like the simplistic, minimalist looking type of deal. The problem with that is it takes a lot of work. People see that stuff and they think, oh, well, it's so simple, it's easy. Well, no. Sharper, crisper lines take more work. When I make my Ort books, most people take the square bit of felt and then they sew the fabric to the back, you know, wrapping it around to the front, and then they fold it over and they use a little snap gun, put the snaps in. I wish mine were that easy, but I have to get the fabric, and I've started creating mitered corners on them now, so that takes a little extra time. And then the strip that is used to fold over to kind of hold it when you want it to be smaller and stuff, I have to make that, and I have to sew that in, and I have to sew that into place and get it in correctly so that it functions correctly. But in the long run, it's more work for a project or an item that is going to hopefully last longer. And that's the idea behind it, is a little bit more sustainability. I don't think I can do another. Trying to see if, I don't think that's long enough for another row. I know most people would put in whatever stitches they could. I notice when a stitch has been done in the stopped and then a new strand started in the middle of a row. I can tell. And it kind of looks funny to me. I actually redid a row in my Dark Queen of the Sea Sow because I had done that and I could see it and it was driving me nuts. And I was like, no, can't do it. I tried. Doesn't work. I try to do a random mix on my Death by Cross Stitch because it's got such long rows. I try to have one strand do one side of the cross and then the new strand start the other side of the cross so that it's just not noticeable. And it works, I suppose, but well, can't handle it. But yeah, you know, and it's the same way with the project bags that I'm making. Back to original subject, sorry about that. You know, I want them the same way. They're not going to have zippers. They're not going to have these mechanics in them in which are likely to malfunction, you know. We love that stuff and we seem to look at it and be like, oh, this is, you know, this is so great. It you know, it looks so cool or whatnot. It looks so, I don't know, high-end or something maybe. And it just, the problem is that it really shortens the life of the product. It makes it easier for somebody to make. And usually less time. Sometimes even cheaper. Not always, because that stuff does cost. And you do have to invest in, like, the snaps for the Ort books. You have to invest in the presser that will push the snaps together in the You know, it's a snap gun is what it's called. And yeah, hold on here. I have to do a thing and see if I can find a blend of 15360. Okay, there's one of them. But yeah, you know, and I really want to avoid all that. I really want to create technically what is a better product, you know. If you go to a store with designer clothes, you shouldn't be seeing edges that are like serged. They should be using techniques like a French seam, because those are higher quality. Those are more advanced sewing techniques. They're higher quality. They last longer. What's the other one? I don't think it's on this one. No. Gonna have to unravel the other one. You know? And I know it's weird to do that for a simple project bag, but it's not like I'm making high-end clothing. I'm using simple... I forgot what time I started this. Okay. This one might be a little bit longer, just because of the time that I'm taking. But yeah, you know, I just want to use that concept to simplify, make things minimalistic, make things a little bit more sustainable, a little bit more like time, you know. Don't know the word. Don't know the word. We all know I'm an idiot, though, or should be aware of this by now. But, you know, I want things to last longer and not just be stuck, you know. And the thing is, you know, like you put those snaps in the art books, they don't just snap on top of the fabric. In general, most of those things you have to actually create a hole in the fabric. And, you know, that's what I want to avoid. I want to avoid those things that create damage. The neighborhood kids, it's raining. Yes, it does that. Downside to my front door being like right directly next to the neighbor's front door. You hear everything. I was actually on the phone last night at like 2 in the morning, talking very loud. Did not need to be in the middle of that conversation, but didn't seem to bother them that I was, so... What you gonna do? Things are what they are they not? Okay. Okay. This will probably take me a second, because I'm really bad at this. And this isn't the smaller needles. Your 26s and 28s work a lot better when doing this, and this one I'm pretty sure is a 24. I'm pretty sure it's what came with the kit. So yeah, well, that had to be that, right? And I'm dropping it. Okay, sorry. Of all the things I need to concentrate on, that is the one I need to concentrate on the most. How sad is that? Am I not sad and pathetic? most of the time. Sorry, this might be a little bit wonky at the moment. There we go. Back to stitching. So yeah, designs that I'm working on for my project bags will not have zippers. They will simply have fold over tops. I just got in some interfacing to work with it because they need to be somewhat stiffer. I'm trying to create them a good size for things like cubby holes and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm going to have multiple sizes, at least not to start with. At this point, I'm working with just the typical cotton fabrics that I already use, and I definitely want to use those to be able to make matching matching sets and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I'd originally intended on getting project bags. I had done one idea that was going to kind of use a zipper, and it just wasn't working for me. The original plan, like, I originally had planned on having project bags out already, and it's just not happened. So I wanted to do like maybe a Black Friday special with like a special Black Friday only fabric that I'd do a full set with, and I don't see that happening because I'd have to have time to, get the project bag design made for starters. And it's always hard because even my mind thinks, oh, well, I'm not doing this, so it's going to be easier to make this item than than what you'd normally think. Because the old project bags I made, I had both cross stitch and like knitting project bags, and they were great designs. They did all have like zippers and inner pockets and stuff like that, but they were very time consuming because they had all of those things. But I had gone in as like a cheap seller initially, and that's the like customer base that I got, and they were getting a really great deal, but I couldn't raise the prices even though costs of things were going up because nobody was buying them when I raised the prices. But I put so much additional work and time and expense into them. It came to a point that I just wasn't able to make any money off of them, so I eventually just got rid of them and then reset the shop, focusing only on the grime guards. And yeah, that ended up being that. And again, I don't want to just pull out the old project bag designs. I want something a little bit more, like I said, sustainable. I want something that's going to last longer and not using all the hardware that's likely to break. Talk to people with their project bags. More often than not, the thing that creates the issues that make them not so functional anymore is the zipper breaking. And yeah, I can source higher quality zippers and stuff like that, but it's really literally not as gonna last as long as when you remove all of those sorts of components. Of course, you spend a lot more time making things, because you have to create something in a manner that is still functional. You need to be able to create something that can close over and, fold in on itself or whatnot. And it takes time to get those designs right. It's not simple. It looks simple. It looks minimalistic. And it's minimalistic in the sense that it doesn't have all the extra bells and whistles. But it's more time consuming. It's a lot more work, which I don't mind. I actually enjoy the more advanced sewing techniques and stuff like that. I love the way they end up looking in the end. It makes me really happy to see that work go into something. And I feel proud to know those advanced techniques that, some sewers out there just don't know. They've been sewing for a couple years, where I've been sewing for 30. And even with 30 years, I haven't put in the amount of time that other people have. So there's still so much out there that I don't know, which is crazy to me. I should start studying more sewing stuff again. That would be cool. That'd be cool. But, yeah. I feel like I've got... Oh, no, that's correct. Sorry. And the brain suddenly starts seeing things that makes you curious about if you're doing things correctly or not. Yay! It's like these... This is a Dimensions kit, isn't it? I think it's Dimensions kit. Where they utilize these blended threads and they utilize these, half stitches and stuff like that. Tons of people create, cross stitch patterns, but they're always like, oh, want it to be easier and stuff like that. And doing cross stitch like this it's not hard, really. It's just, oh, look at this symbol here. This symbol means you use 2 different colored threads instead of just one. And this symbol means that you do half of a cross stitch instead of a full cross stitch. It's really not difficult. It's just learning to read the pattern. But because of it, it takes more time. You can't just, look it up, grab a strand of thread and go. Trying to see what I'm doing. Okay, that should be 25 minutes plus a couple more minutes to make up for the goofing off that I've done, because that's what I do. It's so funny. I put in 25 minutes and literally you can hardly see any difference. I filled in a little bit more here and started in a little bit there. It is... No. Like, it is, October, and this is sort of it's not really a Halloween. It's Victorian Charm. It seems Halloweenish, but it's not, believe it or not. When you actually pay attention to it, it's not Halloweenish, which is crazy to me. But anyways, so random talk about sewing and trying to work on designs for project bags. Again, you know, things just turn out how they turn out, and when the right design comes to me, it'll be there, and I'll just go to town, and it'll just be completely crazy. One thing I was going to say is that I am hoping to utilize other fabrics outside of just the cotton fabrics. So we're going to see how that works. But again, that's been the 25 minutes. This has been today's stitch with me. I forgot what day I'm on. 5, 6, something like that. I'd have to look at the day. My planner is over that way. I can't look to see what day it is. And my phone is right there. And unless I want to stop the recording, I can't look to see what day it is. So, yeah. I'll try and remember tomorrow for sure. But I will be back tomorrow. New vlog, maybe stitch with me. Again, depends on the pattern. And we will discuss goodness knows what. But I will see you then. Bye.